The stars looked cold and empty as Commander Thekvar stood on the bridge of his warship. His four arms moved quickly over the control panels. Each of his hands was covered in hard, clear skin that looked like crystal. This was the mark of the Vorthak people. They were the strongest fighters in the galaxy. Thekvar had never lost a battle. None of his people had. For 300 years, the Vorthak Empire had grown bigger and bigger. They took over planets like children collect toys. Every species they met either joined them or died fighting them. There was never a third choice. Today was different, though. Today they were going to meet humans. "Commander," said Sub-Commander Zaktul, walking up behind him. Zaktul was young for a Vorthak warrior. He had only fought in 10 wars. "The reports about these humans are strange." Thekvar turned his head. His large black eyes looked at the data screen. "Tell me again about their world." "They call it Earth," Zaktul said. "Our scientists say it is a Class 12 death world. The gravity is twice what most species can handle. The weather changes quickly and can kill. There are dangerous animals everywhere. Poison plants grow wild. The water falls from the sky so hard it can hurt you." "And the humans live there by choice?" Thekvar asked. "Yes, Commander. They were born there. They evolved there. They seem to like it." Thekvar made a sound like breaking glass. This was how Vorthak people laughed. "Any species that can live on a death world will be strong fighters. This will be fun." But the reports said other things too. Things that did not make sense. Humans were soft. They had no natural weapons like claws or sharp teeth. Their skin was thin and easy to cut. They had only 2 arms. They were smaller than most Vorthak warriors. They looked weak. "Maybe the reports are wrong," Zaktul said. "Maybe these humans are not as dangerous as the Death World rating suggests." "We will find out soon," Thekvar said. "Prepare the warriors. We will take their colony first. If they fight well, we will respect them before we kill them. If they fight badly, we will just kill them." The ship flew through space for 3 more days. When they reached the human colony, Thekvar was surprised. The colony was big and well built. The buildings looked strong. Ships moved in and out of the spaceports in perfect order. Everything looked clean and organized. "They know we are here," Zaktul reported. "Our sensors show their defense systems are active, but they are not shooting at us." "Maybe they want to surrender without fighting," Thekvar said. "Some species are smart enough to know when they cannot win." The human colony was on a planet they called New Sol. Thekvar landed his ship near the main city with 200 of his best warriors. Each Vorthak warrior was 3 meters tall. Their crystal skin could stop energy weapons. Their 4 arms could fight with 4 different weapons at the same time. They had trained for 100 years each. A group of humans came out to meet them. Thekvar was surprised again. The humans looked calm. They were not afraid. They did not have weapons in their hands. One human stepped forward. She was small, even for a human. She had short black hair and dark eyes. She wore simple clothes that did not look like armor. "Welcome to New Sol," she said. Her voice was clear and strong. "I am Jiwan. I run this colony." Thekvar walked closer. His heavy steps made the ground shake. "I am Commander Thekvar of the Vorthak 3rd Fleet. You will surrender your colony to the Vorthak Empire. Your people will serve us or die." Another human stepped forward. This one was male and taller than Jiwan. He had broad shoulders and scars on his hands. "I am Donghyun," he said. "I am in charge of security here." Thekvar looked at Donghyun's scars. "You have fought before." "Yes," Donghyun said, "but not today." "You refuse to fight us?" Thekvar asked. This was new. Most species either fought right away or gave up right away. These humans were doing something else. "We want to make you an offer," Jiwan said. "A challenge." Zaktul made the glass-breaking laugh sound. "You want to challenge us? You are half our size." "Not a fighting challenge," Jiwan said. "Something different. We want you to understand us through what we call a game." "A game?" Thekvar did not know this word in human language. "A competition," Donghyun explained. A test of skill and strength, but with rules. You want to play with us? Zaktul asked. We are warriors, not children. Listen to our offer, Jiwan said. If you win our game, we will surrender. All of us, without fighting. We will serve your empire. Tekvar's 4 hands moved. This was a sign that he was thinking hard. And if you win? You leave our space forever, Jiwan said. You never come back. You tell other Vorthak ships to stay away from human worlds. The Vorthak warriors talked to each other in their own language. The sounds were like wind blowing through broken metal. This is stupid, Zaktul said. We should just take the colony. Why waste time with games? But Tekvar was interested. In 300 years of war, no species had ever offered anything like this. Most species begged for mercy or tried to trick them. These humans seemed confident. Too confident. What kind of game? Tekvar asked. You will see, Jiwan said. But first, do you accept our challenge? Tekvar looked at his warriors. They were the best fighters in the galaxy. They had destroyed armies. They had conquered worlds. How hard could one human game be? We accept, he said. When do we play? Tomorrow, Dongyun said. Rest tonight. Eat well. You will need your strength. As the humans walked away, Zaktul moved close to Tekvar. Commander, I do not trust this. Why are they so calm? Why do they think they can win? Tekvar watched the humans disappear into their city. I do not know. But tomorrow we will find out. Prepare the warriors. Game or no game, we are still Vorthak. We do not lose. That night, Tekvar could not sleep well. Something about the humans bothered him. They were too sure of themselves. They acted like they had already won. But that was impossible. Nothing could beat Vorthak warriors. Nothing. Tomorrow would prove that. The morning sun was bright when Jiwan came to get the Vorthak warriors. She looked the same as yesterday, calm and confident. Behind her walked a group of humans carrying strange equipment. Are you ready? She asked Tekvar. We have been ready. For 300 years, Tekvar said. Show us your game. Jiwan smiled. Follow me. They walked through the human city. Tekvar noticed that all the humans they passed looked at the Vorthak warriors without fear. Some even waved. Children pointed and asked their parents questions. This was very strange. Most species ran away when they saw Vorthak warriors. Your people are not afraid of us, Zaktul said to Jiwan. Should we be? She asked. Yes, Zaktul said. We are the strongest warriors in the galaxy. Maybe, Jiwan said. We will see. They came to a huge building. It was round and tall. Tekvar could hear sounds coming from inside. Loud sounds, like thousands of voices all talking at once. This is our stadium, Dongyun said. This is where we play. They went inside through a big door. Tekvar stopped walking. His 4 hands grabbed the door frame. His black eyes went wide. The inside of the building was enormous. There were seats everywhere, going up and up like stairs. And the seats were full of humans. Thousands and thousands of humans. They were all making noise, shouting and cheering and singing. In the middle of all the seats was a flat field covered in green. The field was marked with white lines. It was shaped like a long rectangle. At each end of the rectangle were tall posts, shaped like the letter. There are so many of them, Zaktul whispered. 25,000 people, Jiwan said with pride. They all came to watch. Watch what? Tekvar asked. The game, said a new voice. Tekvar turned. A human male was walking toward them. He was big for a human with wide shoulders and thick arms. His hair was cut very short. He moved like a fighter. This is Minho, Jiwan said. He used to be a soldier. Now he explains the game to people who watch. You were a warrior? Tekvar asked. For 10 years, Minho said. I fought in 3 wars, but I like this better. Like what better? Minho pointed to the field. Football. On the field, humans were running around. They wore bright-colored clothes that covered their bodies. Some wore red, some wore blue. They all had hard hats on their heads and thick padding on their shoulders and legs. Is this armor? Zaktul asked. Protection, Minho said. The game can be rough. Rough how? Thekvar asked. You will see, Minho said. Come, sit with me. I will explain the rules. They sat in special seats that looked down at the field. Thekvar noticed that his warriors were all looking around nervously. The sound of 25,000 humans was very loud. It made the air shake. The rules are simple, Minho said. 2 teams, 11 players each. They try to carry the ball to the end of the field. The other team tries to stop them. How do they stop them? Thekvar asked. Any way they can, Minho said, as long as they follow the rules. A human with a black and white shirt blew a whistle. The crowd got even louder. The players on the field lined up facing each other. That is Tai Hyung, Minho said, pointing to a player in red. He leads the red team. And that is Hyunwoo in blue. He leads the blue team. They are the commanders? Zaktul asked. Yes. They plan the attacks and give orders to their teams. The whistle blew again. The players ran at each other very fast. What happened next made every Vorthak warrior lean forward, in shock. The humans crashed into each other like falling rocks. The sound was terrible, like breaking bones, like metal hitting metal. Bodies flew through the air. Players fell hard on the ground. By the crystal throne, Zaktul whispered. They are trying to kill each other. No, Minho said, laughing. This is just the beginning. One player in blue caught the ball and started running. 5 players in red chased him. They caught him and all jumped on him at the same time. The sound when they hit was so loud that Thekvar felt it in his chest. The player with the ball disappeared under a pile of bodies. Arms and legs stuck out everywhere. The crowd cheered louder than before. Is he dead? Thekvar asked. Who? Minho asked. The one under all those bodies. Oh, Jinwoo? No, he is fine. Watch. The pile of players got up one by one. The player called Jinwoo was at the bottom. He stood up slowly. His uniform was dirty. There was grass in his helmet. But he was walking and talking. Impossible, Zaktul said. That impact would break most species in half. Jinwoo is tough, Minho said. All our players are tough. You have to be tough to play football. The game continued. Every few seconds, players ran into each other with terrible force. They hit so hard that the sound carried all the way up to Wai, where the Vorthak warriors were sitting. But the humans kept getting up, every time, no matter how hard they were hit. There, Minho pointed to the field. Watch Su-Yung. Thekvar looked. One of the players in blue was smaller than the others. The name on the back said Su-Yung. That one is different, Zaktul noticed. That is a female, Minho said. She is the only female player on the field today. A female? Thekvar could not believe it. She fights with the males? Oh yes, Minho said. She is very good at it too. Watch. A player in red was running with the ball. He was big, much bigger than Su-Yung. He was running right toward her. Instead of moving out of the way, Su-Yung ran toward him. They crashed together in the middle of the field. The big male player went flying backward through the air. He hit the ground hard and rolled over twice before stopping. Su-Yung stood up and brushed the dirt off her uniform. The crowd went crazy. They were screaming and cheering and jumping up and down. Some were holding signs with her name on them. The female just destroyed a male twice her size, Zaktul said. His voice was very quiet. That is why we like Su-Yung, Minho said. She never gives up, no matter how big the other player. But why? Thekvar asked. Why do they hurt each other like this? Hurt each other? Minho looked confused. They are not trying to hurt each other. They are trying to win. By breaking their bodies. Their bodies are not breaking, Minho said. Look. He pointed to the field. All the players who had been knocked down were back up and running around. Even the big male who Su-Yung had knocked over was back in the game. Your people heal very fast, Zaktul said. We do not heal fast, Minho said. We just do not break easily. The whistle blew. Both teams lined up again. This time a player called Kyung-ho carried the ball. 3 players from the other team hit him at the same time. All 4 bodies went down in a twisted pile. Kyung-ho got up first. There was blood on his lip. He was smiling. He is bleeding, Tekvar said. Just a little, Minho said. He will be fine. And he is happy about it? He is happy because he gained 5 meters before they stopped him. That is good progress. Tekvar looked around at his warriors. They were all staring at the field with the same expression. Fear. Real fear. For the first time in 300 years of conquest, Vorthak warriors were afraid. This is what you call a game? Zaktul asked. This is just a practice game, Minho said. Wait until you see the championship. That is when things get really exciting. Really exciting? Tekvar repeated. Oh yes, Minho said. In the championship, the players try much harder. They hit much harder too. Down on the field, a player called Daeho caught the ball and started running. He made it 10 meters before 4 players tackled him. They hit him so hard that his helmet flew off. Daeho got up, put his helmet back on, and jogged back to his team. The crowd cheered like he had just won a war. Tekvar's 4 hands were shaking now. He tried to stop them, but he could not. What kind of species played games like this? For fun? The game had been going on for 1 hour. The Vorthak warriors had not moved from their seats. They could not look away from the field. Every time they thought they understood what they were seeing, the humans did something even more shocking. Explain the rules to me again, Tekvar said to Minho. His voice sounded different now, quieter. Which part do you want to know about? Minho asked. The part where they try to kill each other. Minho laughed. Commander, they are not trying to kill each other. They are trying to stop each other from scoring points. By breaking their bones? No one is breaking bones, Minho said. Well, not usually. Not usually? Zaktul repeated. Sometimes there are injuries, Minho admitted. Broken arms, broken legs, broken ribs, but that does not happen very often. And when it does happen, the player goes to the hospital, they fix the broken bone, the player comes back and plays again. They come back? Tekvar could not believe this. After their bones are broken, they choose to come back and play more? Of course, Minho said. Why would they stop playing? They love football. Down on the field, something terrible was happening. A player in red named Jamin was running with the ball. 3 players in blue were chasing him. They caught him at the same time. All 4 bodies crashed together. The sound was like a small explosion. When they hit the ground, Jamin was at the bottom. The other 3 players were on top of him. For a moment, nobody moved. Then, the 3 players in blue got up. But Jamin did not get up. He was lying very still on the grass. Is he dead? Sub-Commander Nalvek asked. He was the youngest Vorthak warrior in the group. I do not think so, Minho said. But he did not sound sure. Humans in white clothes ran onto the field. They carried a long, flat board. They rolled Jamin onto the board very carefully. His eyes were closed. His arms hung down like they had no strength. The crowd got quiet. 25,000 humans stopped making noise all at once. Now they are worried, Zaktul said. Finally, they understand that this is dangerous. But then something strange happened. Jamin opened his eyes. He tried to sit up. The medical people pushed him back down, but he kept trying to get up. Even from far away, the Vorthak warriors could see Jamin talking. He was pointing at the field. He was shaking his head. What is he saying? Tekvar asked. Minho smiled. He is saying he wants to keep playing. What? He is telling the medical team that he is fine. He wants to get back in the game. The medical people talked to Yemen for a few more minutes. They checked his eyes with a small light. They moved his arms and legs. They asked him questions. Finally, they helped him stand up. Jamin took a few steps. He jumped up and down. He waved to the crowd. The crowd exploded with noise again. They were cheering and screaming and clapping. They are happy that he is not badly hurt, Zaktul said. No, Minho said. They are happy that he can keep playing. Jamin jogged back to his team. His teammates hit him on the back and shoulders. Not to hurt him, but to show they were glad he was okay. The game started again. I do not understand, Tekvar said. He was hurt. He could have been killed. Why does he want to continue? Because his team needs him, Minho explained, and because he loves the game. He loves getting hurt. He loves competing. He loves trying to win. Getting hurt is just part of it. Just part of it, Tekvar repeated slowly. A new player came onto the field. Her name was Sulgi. She was the person who talked to the crowd over the speakers. And Jamin is back in the game. Sulgi's voice filled the stadium. What a warrior. He took a hit that would stop most people, but he is ready for more. The crowd cheered again. She called him a warrior, Zaktul noticed. Football players are warriors, Minho said. That is what we call them. But they are not real warriors, Nalvek said. This is just a game. Minho looked at him with serious eyes. Tell me, young Vorthak, what makes a real warrior? Strength, Nalvek said right away. Courage, the ability to fight through pain. What else? Smart thinking, good strategy, working with your team, and never giving up even when things look impossible. Minho pointed to the field. Look at those players. Do they have strength? Nalvek watched a player named Wu Jin lift another player off the ground and throw him down. Yes. Do they have courage? Nalvek watched a small player run straight at 3 bigger players. Yes. Do they fight through pain? Nalvek saw Jamin, who had been hurt badly just minutes before, tackle another player. Yes. Do they think smart and use strategy? Nalvek noticed how the teams moved together, like they were one mind in many bodies. Yes. Do they ever give up? Nalvek watched the blue team. They were losing by many points, but they were still fighting as hard as they could. No. Then they are warriors, Minho said. But it is just a game, Nalvek said again, but his voice was not as sure as before. What is the difference between this game and a real battle? Minho asked. In a real battle, people die. People die in football too sometimes, Minho said quietly. Not often, but it happens. The players know this. They play anyway. Why? Tekvar asked. Why do they risk death for a game? Why do you risk death for war? Minho asked back. To conquer. To expand our empire. To prove we are strong. These players are not trying to conquer anything. They are not building an empire, but they are proving they are strong. To who? To themselves, to their families, to their city, and... Minho looked directly at Tekvar. To anyone who is watching. Tekvar felt something cold move through his body. He was beginning to understand. On the field, a player named Kyung Min had the ball. He was much smaller than the other players around him. 5 large players were running at him from different directions. A smart fighter would run away, or give up the ball, or call for help. Kyungmin did none of these things. He lowered his head and ran straight into the middle of the 5 players. The crash was the loudest one yet. All 6 bodies went down hard. Arms and legs were everywhere. The ball flew through the air. When the pile of bodies stopped moving, Kyungmin was at the bottom. Again. He will be badly hurt now, Zaktul said. But Kyungmin got up first. He had the ball in his hands. He had somehow kept it through all the hitting and falling. He had also moved forward 5 more meters. The crowd was screaming so loud that the stadium shook. That is impossible, Nalvek whispered. No one can take that much punishment and keep fighting. Humans can, Minho said. That is what makes us different. Different how? Most species fight until it hurts too much. Then they stop. Humans fight until they win, or until they cannot move anymore. Thikavar's forehands were shaking harder now. You mean they do not stop when they are hurt? Pain just makes them angry, Minho said. And angry humans are very dangerous. But this is just for fun, Zaktul said. This is not even a real fight. Minho smiled, but it was not a happy smile. Commander, if this is what we do for fun, what do you think we do when we are really angry? The Vorthak warriors looked at each other. For 300 years they had conquered every species they met. They had always been the strongest, the most dangerous. But now they were seeing something that made no sense. Soft, weak humans were doing things that would kill most Vorthak warriors. And they were doing it for entertainment. "The game is almost over," Minho said. "Are you enjoying it?" None of the Vorthak warriors could speak. They were too busy trying to understand what they were really looking at. The fourth quarter started with new energy. The Vorthak warriors had been watching for 3 hours now. Their crystal skin was covered in sweat. Their forehands shook when they tried to hold things. But they could not stop watching. "Why are they getting stronger?" Zaktul asked. His voice was very quiet. On the field, the human players looked different than they had at the beginning. Their uniforms were dirty and torn. There was blood on several faces. Some were limping. But they were moving faster now, not slower. "This is when football gets interesting," Minho said. "When the players are tired and hurt. That is when you see who really wants to win." "They want to win more when they are injured?" Tekvar asked. "Pain focuses the mind," Minho said. "It makes everything simple. There is only the game, only winning or losing." A player named Wu Jin caught the ball. He started running toward the right end of the field. 2 players tried to stop him. He ran right through them like they were not there. Then 3 more players hit him from the side. All 4 bodies went flying. Wu Jin hit the metal barrier at the edge of the field. The barrier made a loud sound like a bell. It bent inward where his body hit it. "He hit that barrier with enough force to dent metal," Nalvek whispered. Wu Jin lay on the ground for a moment. Then he got up. There was blood running from his mouth. His left arm was hanging at a strange angle. "His arm is broken," Zaktul said. Human female ran onto the field. She wore white clothes with a red cross on them. This was Nayeon, the medical person for Wu Jin's team. But Wu Jin did not want her help. He was walking back toward his team. He was holding his broken arm with his other hand. Nayeon caught up to him. She started checking his arm. Wu Jin kept trying to walk away from her. "What is he doing?" Tekvar asked. "He wants to keep playing," Minho said. "But Nayeon will not let him play with a broken arm." "Good," Zaktul said. "Finally, someone is being sensible." But then Nayeon did something that made all the Vorthak warriors stand up in shock. She grabbed Wu Jin's broken arm. She twisted it quickly. There was a loud popping sound. Wu Jin screamed. Then he smiled. "What did she do?" Nalvek demanded. "She put his shoulder back in place," Minho said calmly. "It was not broken. It was just dislocated. She caused him pain. On purpose? She fixed him," Minho said. "Now he can play again." Wu Jin moved his arm up and down. He made a fist. He nodded to Nayeon. Then he ran back to his team. The crowd was cheering again. But this time, the cheering sounded different to Tekvar. It sounded hungry. "They enjoyed watching him get hurt and fixed," Tekvar said. "They enjoyed watching him choose to continue fighting," Minho corrected. "Is there a difference?" "To humans, yes, a big difference." The game continued. Now the Vorthak warriors were seeing things that should not be possible. A player named Jiho was very small even for a human. He might have been 50 kilograms. Another player named Kangmin was twice his size and looked like he could break Jiho in half. The 2 players ended up facing each other in the middle of the field. Jiho had the ball. Kangmin was going to try to stop him. Any reasonable person would run away from Kangmin, or throw the ball to someone else, or fall down and give up. Jiho did none of these things. Instead, he lowered his head and ran straight at Kangmin. "No," Zaktul whispered. "He will be killed." The 2 humans hit each other with terrible force. The sound was like thunder. Both bodies went down hard. For a moment, neither one moved. Then Jiho got up. He still had the ball. He had somehow managed to run through Kangmin and keep going. Kangmin got up too. He was shaking his head like he could not believe what had happened. Both players looked at each other. Then they smiled and hit their hands together in the human gesture of respect. "The small one just knocked down the big one," Nalvek said. "And they are congratulating each other?" "Jiho made a good play," Minho explained. "Kangmin respects that." "Even though he lost?" "Especially because he lost." It takes courage to try to stop someone when you know they might run right through you. I do not understand your species, Thekvar said. Most species do not, Minho replied. The final minutes of the game were the worst yet. Both teams were desperate to win. The hitting got harder. The players moved faster. More blood appeared on more faces. A player named Sunho tackled someone so hard that both players bounced when they hit the ground. Another player named Yuna threw herself at 3 opponents and somehow knocked all of them down. They are getting more violent as the game goes on, Zaktul observed. No, Minho said. They are getting more determined. What is the difference? Violence is about hurting people. Determination is about not letting anything stop you from reaching your goal. But they are hurting each other. Yes. But that is not why they are playing. They are playing to win. With 2 minutes left, something happened that broke the last of the Vorthak warriors' understanding. A player was badly injured. Thekvar could not see exactly what happened, but the player was not moving. Medical people ran onto the field with a stretcher. The stadium got very quiet again, but instead of stopping the game, the other players kept playing around the injured person, while the medical team worked on their teammate. His team kept trying to score points. They abandoned their wounded, Nalvek said with disgust. No, Minho said. They are honoring their wounded. The injured player would want them to keep fighting. Stopping the game would be an insult to him. An insult? It would mean they think he is weak, that his injury matters more than winning. The injured player was carried off the field. As he was carried past his team, he raised one hand and made a fist. The crowd cheered. He is encouraging his team even though he is hurt, Thekvar noticed. That is what warriors do, Minho said. The game ended a few minutes later. Players from both teams walked to the middle of the field. They were limping and bleeding and covered in dirt, but they were all smiling. They formed 2 lines facing each other. Then they walked past each other, hitting hands and saying good things to their opponents. They are friends? Zaktul asked. They are brothers, Minho said. Only someone who has fought beside you or against you can understand what you have been through. But they were trying to destroy each other. No, they were testing each other, seeing who was stronger, who was braver, who wanted to win more. And now? Now they know. The crowd was still cheering as the players left the field. Some players were helped off by their teammates. Others walked off alone, but slowly. How many of them are injured? Thekvar asked. All of them, Minho said. Some more than others. But they all have bruises and sore muscles. Some have cuts and small breaks. That is normal. Normal, Thekvar repeated. Commander, Zaktul said. His voice was shaking. If this is what they do for entertainment, what do they do when they are really fighting? What do you think? Minho asked. The Vorthak warriors did not answer. They could not answer. They had spent their whole lives believing they were the most dangerous species in the galaxy. They had conquered worlds and destroyed armies. But these humans played games that were more brutal than most wars, and they called it fun. The game is over, Jiwan said, walking up to them. What did you think? Thekvar tried to speak. His mouth moved, but no sound came out. It was very educational, Zaktul finally managed to say. Good, Jiwan said. Now you understand us a little better, do we? Thekvar found his voice. I am not sure I understand anything anymore. That is normal, Dongyun said, joining them. It takes time to understand human nature. Is all human nature like this? Nalvek asked. Like what? So, Nalvek struggled to find the words. So violent, so painful, so determined. This is just one game, Dongyun said. We have many others. The Vorthak warriors looked at each other with horror. There were more games like this? The stadium was emptying out. 25,000 humans were walking home, talking and laughing about what they had just seen. Many of them wore the colors of their favorite team. Children ran around pretending to tackle each other. The Vorthak warriors sat in their seats like statues. They had not moved for 10 minutes. Commander, Zaktul said quietly, What do we do now? Thekvar did not answer. He was watching the human players leave the field. They walked slowly, helping each other. Some had bandages on their heads. Others limped on injured legs. But they were all talking and smiling. They look happy, Nalvek observed. They look like they enjoyed getting hurt. I do not think they enjoyed the pain. Tekvar said finally. I think they enjoyed the test. What test? The test of who they are inside. When everything hurts and you are tired and you want to quit, what do you choose? Do you give up? Or do you keep fighting? And humans choose to keep fighting? Always, said a new voice. The Vorthak warriors turned. A human male was walking toward them. He was bigger than most humans, with scars on his face and hands. He moved like someone who had seen many battles. This is Sunho, Jiwon said. He was one of the players in today's game. Sunho sat down near the Vorthak warriors. Up close they could see that his uniform was torn in several places. There was dried blood under his nose. His knuckles were scraped and swollen. Did you enjoy the game? He asked. Enjoy is not the right word, Tekvar said. Sunho laughed. It was a deep, rough sound. No, I suppose it would not be enjoyable for most people to watch. It is probably scary if you have never seen it before. Are you in pain now? Zaktul asked. Oh yes, Sunho said. Everything hurts. My ribs feel like they are on fire. My shoulder is definitely going to be sore tomorrow. And I think I have a small cut on my forehead. Then why are you smiling? Because we won, Sunho said simply. And because I played well. And because I get to do it again next week. You want to do this again? Nalvek asked. Of course. This is what I do. This is who I am. Another player walked over. This was Yuna, the female who had knocked down 3 opponents at once. Sunho, are you bothering our guests? She asked. Just talking about the game, Sunho said. Yuna sat down too. She had a bruise on her cheek and dirt in her hair, but her eyes were bright and happy. What did you think? She asked the Vorthak warriors. We are still trying to understand, Thekvar admitted. What is there to understand? Yuna asked. 2 teams compete, 1 team wins, everyone goes home. But the violence, Zaktul said. The pain, the injuries. What about them? Why do you accept them? Yuna thought about this for a moment. Do you have children, Zaktul? Yes, 2 offspring. If your children were in danger, would you fight to protect them? Of course. Even if you got hurt? Yes. Even if you got killed? Yes. Why? Because they are important to me. More important than my own safety. That is how we feel about winning, Yuna said. It is more important than being safe. But winning a game is not the same as protecting children. Is it not? Sunho asked. When I am on that field, my teammates depend on me. If I give up because I am hurt, I let them down. If I do not try my hardest, they might lose because of me. So you play through pain to help your team? I play through pain because that is what teammates do for each other. More players joined them. Soon there were 8 humans sitting with the Vorthak warriors. They all looked like they had been in a war, but they all looked satisfied too. Tell me about your other games, Thekvar said. The humans looked at each other and smiled. Well, said a player named Kangmin, there is boxing. 2 people hit each other with their fists until one cannot continue. And ice hockey, added another player called Deho. Like football, but faster, and the players have knives on their feet. Mixed martial arts, said Yuna. Fighting with no weapons, using hands and feet, and grappling. Rugby, said Sunho. Like football, but with less protection. Less protection? Zaktul's voice cracked. No helmets, Sunho explained. No padding, just your body. Car racing, said Kangmin. Driving vehicles at dangerous speeds, trying not to crash. Mountain climbing, said Deho. Going up tall rocks where you can fall and die. Swimming with sharks, said Yuna. Jumping out of aircraft with cloth to slow you down, said Sunho. The Vorthak warriors listened to this list with growing horror. These are all games, Nalavek whispered. Sports? Yuna corrected. But yes. How many humans play these sports? Millions. Hangman said. Maybe billions. And they all know they might get hurt? That is part of the fun, Deho said. Part of the fun, Tekvar repeated. Jiwan walked over to the group. Commander, you have been very patient, but I need to ask you something. What? You accepted our challenge. We played our game. What is your decision? Tekvar looked at his warriors. They were all staring at him, waiting for his answer. For 300 years, the Vorthak Empire had never retreated. They had never admitted defeat. They had never walked away from a fight. But this was not a fight. This was something else entirely. We withdraw our claim to this system, Tekvar said quietly. The humans looked surprised. Even Jiwan had not expected this. You are surrendering? She asked. We are. Leaving, Tekvar said. We will not bother your people again. But you did not lose our game, Donghyun pointed out. You were just watching. That is enough, Tekvar said. We have seen enough. He stood up. His legs were shaky, but he managed to walk. All warriors will return to the ship immediately, he commanded. Commander, Zaktul said as they walked away. Should we report this to the Empire? Yes, Tekvar said. We will send a message to all Vorthak fleets. What will the message say? Tekvar thought about this as they walked through the human city. Children were still playing football in the parks. Adults were discussing the game they had just seen. Everyone looked normal and peaceful, but now Tekvar knew the truth. These peaceful-looking humans regularly engaged in combat that would terrify most galactic species, and they did it for fun. The message will say to avoid human space, Tekvar said finally. All human worlds are to be marked as no entry zones. What reason should we give? Hostile environment. But they did not attack us. They did not need to attack us, Tekvar said. They showed us who they are, that was enough. Back at their ship, Tekvar sent the message to Vorthak Command. Urgent. New species classification, humans. Origin, Class 12. Death world designation, Earth. Warning, avoid all contact, species. Engages in ritual combat for entertainment. Physical capabilities beyond current threat assessments. Recommend immediate reclassification to apex predator status. No Vorthak vessels are to enter human space under any circumstances. As their ship lifted off from New Sol, Nalvek looked out the window at the human city below. Commander, he said, if they fight like that for games, what do you think they do when they are really angry? Tekvar did not answer. He did not want to think about it. But he made sure their ship flew very fast and very far from human space. Behind them, the humans went back to their normal lives. They had no idea that they had just established themselves as the most feared species in the galaxy, all by playing a game. The next day, Jiwan received reports that several alien ships had changed course to avoid human space. Trade routes were being redirected. Diplomatic contacts were being canceled. That is strange, she said to Dongyun. I wonder why everyone is avoiding us. Maybe word got out about our football game yesterday, Dongyun suggested. Maybe, Jiwan said. But it was just a game. She never found out that across the galaxy, every military commander who received Tekvar's report had the same reaction. They marked human space as forbidden territory, and they made very sure their ships stayed far, far away from the species that called warfare entertainment.